right in the present. This is my confession. Please stop the guessing. They peeked through my window while I was stressing. They borrowed swag from me, it's clear, without a question. This is why I'm legend. Well, let me tell you why I'm legend. Well, let me tell you why I'm legend.
We back with another episode of GunnaSpeaks. You know the vibes, man. We back like crack, you dig? Yo, today's episode is basically gonna be about, we're basically just gonna highlight, again, about the black families. The reasons why I would say, personally, that, you know, single households is not the ideal situation for raising children, or raising a child, whether that be a male or female. Typically, in terms of women raising boys to be men, you know, there's a distinction to that. There's a reason why men are necessary in the households, because the biological makeup is different from female. So even if a female is doing her thing and she making her money and she doing her numbers in the workforce, and maybe she, you know, got some assistance somehow, or whatever the case may be, leverage enough to take care of the kid, I still wouldn't agree that's the ideal situation. And as a result, we see a lot of young black males being sent to the prison systems, dropping out of high school, committing a lot of vicious crimes, actually even getting themselves hurt, getting their families killed in the process. And we see this every day. Every time we turn on the TV, every time we turn on Instagram, Facebook, we see a story about some young guys either getting killed or killing somebody, or you know, people getting caught up in a crossfire. And basically, I just wanted to highlight this video because I think it's very important that we really analyze what we seeing, because we see it far too often in our communities, and it's not been an asset to us. It's actually been a liability in terms of our growth and our placement in society and the respect level that we get from other races. So I'm just gonna share this video with y'all. It's a video of a mom arguing with her son on live, which is another I think that's just irresponsible on both of their behalves, because they both adults at this point. He's 19, the mom, I'm not exactly sure how old the mom is, but however, she should have been, you know, more conscious about, you know, doing this on live. He should have been more conscious about doing this on live. But the fact that they did this on live, I think it is important that we view it and use it as an educational tool, and look at it with a great scope, so we don't follow into the same patterns that we see so many other women and other families fall into. So I'm going to play the video off my phone, and y'all just tell me, well, we're just going to have conversation basically about it, and we'll just go through it. So here's the video. I shared it off my Facebook today. Flyhype.com, they posted it, so here's the video right quick, so y'all can get a synopsis of that.
Look how they do it. You don't even got no reason. You don't even got no reason. You just want to put a nigga out. You wake up and want to put a nigga out. Who does this? Who wake up and want to put their son out? You are not mine. You wake up. You're not mine. You're not mine. You're not my son. But you wake up. You're not my son. You wake up and you're not my fucking son. So you're finna get out of here. Wake up. You want to wake up and put me out. You want to wake up and put me out. You want to wake up and put me out. You want to wake up and put me out, nigga. Fuck wrong with y'all, bro? Wake up and put me out. Who wake up and put a nigga out? Yo, mama. But you my mama. But you claim you my mama. Nigga, fuck what you talking about. Oh, God, bro. Disrespectful. Ass motherfucking son. Man, ain't nobody I got a disrespectful mama. Keep motherfucking staying with me. Mama. Out of here. Bitch, I can't disrespect you. I'm your mama. Fuck up out of here. That don't got nothing to do with that. Get up out of here. Get up out of here. They ain't got nothing to do with that. Get up out of here, dog. Fuck. Get up out of here. You a disrespectful ass lady. I don't care how on God you disrespectfully fuck, but you my mama, cuz. Who the fuck wake up and put somebody out? The fuck? You lame, cuz. On God, like I said, bro, the police don't have to come put me out, cause on God I ain't leave. The fuck? Some shit pop off. You want something to pop off? I ain't gonna touch it. I just want you to see. On God, cuz you just sad, bro. On God. Man, no, I ain't getting off live, man. Fuck that. I'ma let y'all see what the fuck my mama do. The fuck, man, fuck her. On God. Fuck
got a set date. She got a set date set for me to get the fuck out of her house June the 1st, July the 1st. Who the fuck does that, bro? But you my mama, cuz. Don't try to help me do shit, bro. But you my mama. Duh, I know that. Anytime I do it on my own, fuck is you saying? You finna do everything on your own. Fuck is you saying? Fuck is you saying, bro? I don't care about that. On God, I don't. On God, I don't care about that. You already know I don't care about that. You know I don't care.
You show me, I don't care. It's time for me to show you that I don't care. You been showing me that.
You know I don't care about that.
You been showing me that. I promise you I'm finna show you that I don't
been
care.
showing me you don't care.
Okay.
I'm
finna show you up.
You woke up in a
I'm finna show you up.
put me out.
I'm finna show you up.
You woke up every time you
It's
wake up.
afternoon, you dumbass dude.
It don't matter every time you
Dumbass
wake up,
dude.
bro. You got a problem.
Dumbass dude.
Every time you wake up, you got a problem with me.
Because you can't listen.
You can't. I can't
Point
listen.
blank.
I barely talk to you.
Can't
I
listen.
barely talk to you. I
Can't
can't
listen.
I can't listen.
Can't listen.
What I ain't listen? What you
Can't
told me to
listen.
do that I ain't listen?
Like I said,
Mad,
I want
mad,
you.
sad.
And he on.
Bro, man, fuck that. On God, cuz I got a low down there, mama, who don't give a fuck, who don't give a fuck. Man, fuck that. On God. That's why I don't get no fuck by nobody. On Jesus. Bro, I know what I don't got. I been ain't had shit up in this house. Fuck is you saying? Everything I had, nigga, you threw it at. Fuck is you talking about? Better go on with that shit, bro. Like I said, the officer gonna have to come put me out there, ho. Oh, God. Fuck is you talking about, cuz? Nigga over there, oh, God.
So let me just stop it right there. Obviously, it's dysfunction. Obviously, the mom and the son is not getting along. And for whatever reasons, she's actually telling the kid that she's not my kid. But more than likely, if we take that back to when this kid was a baby and she was having this discussion with the father, if she did know the father, whatever the case may be, I bet she was probably saying the opposite to that the baby is mine. This is my baby. How most women like to say, this is my baby, right? So now the baby is 19 years old. So 19 years later, after saying my baby, she's telling the kid to his face that he's not even hers. Because she's mad at the kid, you know? Her own child. She raised him up, obviously on her own, because if she's going to kick him out, and she didn't even mention the father, the father was not mentioned in this ordeal at all. Now, that's a whole nother discussion. But generally, by looking at this video, what do y'all observe as some of the issues, some of the underlying occurrence, and some of the fixtures that, or even some of the remedies or things that we can use as leverage to avoid some of these mishaps? What do y'all think are some of the remedies here in terms of what we see visually and what we're hearing? Do you think that this is working for her as a single parent? Do you think this is working for the kid as the child of the single parent? That's question 1 for y'all. Or question 2, however y'all want to put it. Do y'all think the kid is unruly by nature because he's a man or a male? Or do y'all think he wasn't taught to have respect for his mom or women the way society might see fit that men should treat women, or how women recommend that men treat them? I just want to touch on this point, right? So in society, you know, a lot of women talk junk about the men, right? Saying how men ain't no good men out here, and the men are treating women disrespectfully. They're broke. They don't have the resources to take care of the households. They deadbeats. They leaving the mothers to fend for themselves. Can we all agree, based on this video, based on what we observed just now, that it's not always the fault of the male, or it's not the intention of men to just ultimately just leave? Hold on 1 second, y'all. I don't know why that shit does that. Anyway. The question was basically, do y'all agree that this doesn't work. The single family household work versus the 2-parent household. Do y'all think that if the father was around, we would have the same outcome of the child? Do you think the respect level of the child would be differently? Do y'all see a similarity in the way some women treat their own husbands and boyfriends and male counterparts versus how they actually treat their own sons? We're not talking about the daughters right now. We're talking about the sons because it's the situation. Do y'all see a correlation in the way that she's handling her own son versus the way she probably handled the dad of that son? And do you see a correlation in why probably the father is not in the picture? If perhaps he went to jail himself, maybe he's no longer here with us. Maybe he died, he's dead somehow, or maybe he ran away because she was forced away by this loudmouth woman. Now, we're not saying that she's not allowed to have a voice to express herself inside her own, headquarters. But the things that we hearing her say to her own child, do you think that was some of the things that she might have said disrespectfully to her boyfriend, husband, baby father that caused her to get into this situation? So basically, I'm asking, are there any preventative measures that we can take to avoid the longevity of these type of circumstances? Can we use some sort of foreshadowing to avoid this becoming the future for so many young black women and young black males, who then in turn turn around and be the biggest criminals that we see and we complain about, who become the nastiest of the men in society that the women so much complain about? That become the broke men and the deadbeats that the women so much complain about? Well, as we can see, the result of that single parent household, she's becoming overwhelmed. She's unable to tame the kid because he's a grown man now. So at which point, she's no longer able to handle it. Maybe she having flashbacks on how she treated her boyfriends. Maybe she having flashbacks on the father. Maybe she should see the father face every time she talked to him. Do y'all think this is a good thing or a bad thing? We're going to get back into the video. I just wanted to share that real quick, a little intermission on that. But as y'all watch, ask yourself questions. Do y'all think this is a good reflection on our society? Do you think that we could avoid some of this thing by, changing the forecast?
Every time oh God, I always got some shit to say for me. Think I care about that?
You don't even know, guys.
Oh, you don't. You barely know. That's why, oh God, that's the main reason. That's why your ass ain't gonna never ever in your life succeed, bro. I swear. Oh God, bro, you ain't gonna succeed if you can't do this shit, bro. You can't succeed, bro. That's why. And you see why we so fucked up? Cause you fucked up. You fucked up. You can't. You on God, cuz. You need me.
Oh God.
Need me, cuz. Oh God. If I had it, bro.
Oh God. Oh God, when you sitting up there
Man, I don't
talking.
care. I don't care.
This
Call
time.
the police, all
This
that.
bad.
I don't care.
Bye.
When the police
Get up out of here.
When the police come,
You don't listen to them on their way.
alright.
I'm gonna make sure you get all your shit up out of here.
Alright, bro, you ain't gotta hit me.
Then you finna.
Don't hit me, bro.
Bitch, I ain't hit you.
On God, you
Bitch, I ain't hit you, ho.
So basically, now it's to the point where the mom is calling the police on an innocent child. So the kid didn't hit her. He didn't commit no crimes. But this black woman, this black mom, is willing to throw her son to the police just because she wants the son out. Now we see this so much in our communities, in our neighborhoods. I've seen women call cops on men who were innocent. I've been a victim of that myself. That's a whole nother story. But we see this far too often that women are so quick, black women particularly, are so quick to either call the cops on the man, call the father or the brother on the man to get a man killed, or to destroy a man's credibility as a man himself. Like, are there any other ways that women could have... Is there any other remedies or any other ways that you see that fit that this lady could have possibly handled this situation rather than calling the cops on her son or actually having him kicked out? Because ultimately, where's the kid gonna go? To the streets? So he's gonna go gang. He's gonna go sell some drugs, possibly, wind up dead or in jail. These are only the options that we see repetitively happen. Or he's gonna be smart enough for himself and intellectual himself enough that he can find his way out. But 9 out of 10 times, or 8 out of 10 times, this is not the case. A lot of young boys, young men, they grow up like this in a dysfunctional household, and then ultimately they turn into the big bad guy that everybody's so much scared of. So are we gonna take accountability as society? Are the women and the mothers and the parents and the grandmothers, are y'all gonna take responsibility for these outcomes? Because obviously she learned this pattern from somebody else too. And if that is now is rubbing off on the son. So now the son is gonna step out into society with these issues, mommy issues, daddy issues, mommy issues, and how you think he's gonna be able to treat the women properly? How you think he's gonna have what kind of mindset is being created for him to then go treat your daughter nice, your daughter like a queen, and for your daughter to have respect for this young man? If the dysfunction starts in the household, ends in the household, or it trickles out into the streets, into the world, society, now the normal people and the people that had structure in their lives got to deal with these circumstances, and they're affected by these circumstances. And overall, as a race of people, we all affected by this. If one suffers, we all suffer. So we could turn a blind eye to say, oh, hey, that's just an isolated incident. This is not really what happens in our communities. When that's clearly a falsified lie. You know, we know this happens. We could see it in our own lives. We could see it in our friends' lives. We could see it in our cousins, brothers, sisters, or whoever. This is just a certain thing that happens. And I'm not saying this don't happen across the board with other races and stuff like that, but we're going to focus on our own people because we need to figure out remedies for us. We can't focus on what goes on with everybody else. But I see this far too often happening right in front of me and in my face. I see it on TV. I see it on the news. I see it everywhere. And my point again is to highlight this and to see where we can find better fixtures and better remedies for circumstances like this. And what do we do? What do we do when faced with these circumstances when we come to this point? So again, do you think the mom was wrong for calling the cops on her son? Do you think she's wrong for waking the kid up and telling him to get the hell out because she may have was mad, or she said that he stole something out of her purse, or whatever the case may be? But again, this is her child. She gave birth to this kid. She was responsible for the child. She was responsible in teaching him to be, a proper young man. She's also responsible for the relationship that she developed with the father, if there was even a relationship. So there's a backdrop to that. You know what I mean? So let's get back into the video. Let's tune back in.
You did, bro. You ain't gotta hit me though, bro. You ain't gotta hit me. Look, she want me to fight. She be wanting me to fight her so bad. What you gonna do? I ain't finna touch you, bro. Why? So I can go to jail?
You hear this?
Fuck all it.
Do that sound like the relationship of a mother and son, or of a man and a woman? A black man and a black woman? The her own son is worried about being hit by the mother and going to jail. These are the conversations that I hear in the hood so much, that the father or the brother or whoever, these males having issues with women. Because, as soon as women get loud, we men don't really get into this argument thing. We don't know how to argue with no women. We know how to put our dukes up and punch a joint. You know what I'm saying? Or punch a nigga or whatever. If it came down to that. When men get frustrated, we get physical. We're not like females. Biologically, we're not made up like a female might be made up. So when a female is yang, the only thing a dude could think of, damn, she might try to hit me now, and I can't get physical with her because he's going to jail. Regardless, if he's the son or the husband. So, do y'all see the difference? Is she treating this kid like her husband? And is he reacting like the husband instead of the son? Because is there a difference in this? Then shouldn't it be a distinction of how we treat the son versus how you treat the husband? Do we see anything different from this? Or do we see so much of the same happening between the mother and the fathers.
No, I ain't cool enough. I ain't getting out of nothing on God. Because I got to low down. And I ain't.
Oh, God.
Bro.
Tell motherfucking lie right every time I come in my house, bitch. It ain't just you. It's your brother, too. But like I said, he's responsible. I'm responsible. I'm not responsible. The shit I go through with you, I don't have to. I don't have to. I don't have to. I don't have to. I chose to. Because you were my fucking parent. That's why I chose to do this. I chose to do this. I chose to do this. Because you were my fucking kid. I'm good.
So she said it's herself. This is her choice. This is a choice, whether she wanted to be a single parent or not. She chose to take care of the kid, or she had the option of, before the kid was even born, you got 30 contraceptives that you could use to you know, to if you wasn't prepared to have a kid or whatever, that could have been taken care of. They have adoption agencies. That's another option. Not saying that that's the best option, but these are options for women. Before the baby's even born, before 9 months of you sitting around with a baby, these are options that you have to rectify. So now at this point, she's deciding to say there was a choice. So she clearly knows that there's a choice in having a single parent household versus having a 2-parent household. So again, from the energy that she's displaying to me, I gather that she probably ran the father off. Her mouth was seemingly too big, and she's too vicious in her words, even to her own child. Enough that I know any man that endures that is not gonna, tolerate it. And there's a lot. I'm sure that there's a big frustration mechanism for men, which drive men to alcoholism, drive men to drugs, drive men to committing battery against women, ultimately getting men locked up. So now, again, even if the man wasn't part of the picture, because she got so frustrated because he got a big mouth chick that doesn't respect him, that has no sense of barriers and drawing a line and sense of placement. So she takes the man balls and she smashes him with a hammer, with a nutcracker, and then you have weak man, beta males, situations like this, with the son who's gonna grow up to a man, and what you think he's gonna have? Daddy issues, mommy issues, female issues, trust issues. There's a lot of issues going on. This is post-traumatic stress disorder. So, do y'all think this is the right approach for our people? Do y'all think we're gonna keep following this road down destruction? Because this is a destructive road. Shahrazad Ali, I shared the video about Shahrazad Ali's interview that she had on a TV show probably about 30 years ago or so. It looked like it's in the 70s or 80s. Not actually, it's in the 80s, early 80s. However, it's the woman's guide to understanding the black man. And there's another flip side. There's a woman's guide to understanding a man's guide to understanding the black women. In this book, the woman's guide to understand the black women, the man's guide to understand the black women, she highlights the importance of having the families together and having a 2-parent household, because just to avoid some of these things. So y'all go check out that Shahrazad Ali interview. Is on YouTube, whatever the case may be. I'll put a link down in the bottom in the description so y'all could go check that out. Tell me if you guys see in that video a correlation to what she's saying versus what you actually could see here visually. Do y'all think if we take some of the advice that she was sharing with us, and that many other women, even before her time, shared with us, and even the women after that, and the circumstances that we see after that, do y'all think that any of these wording or ideas that she's presenting to us will be helpful in terms of if we apply it to today? Do y'all think there's a correlation between what we're seeing here on this video and from what we're going to see with the Shahrazad Ali video when you go check it out? So, let's continue watching, y'all.
But we go through shit. But she barely be here. She barely be here, cuz. I don't give a fuck, bro. You on God, you left up for a nigga anyway. I really don't give 2 fucks. On God, I don't. Fuck. You You left your household to stay with another nigga, man. You better go on my motherfucking face.
Come on here. Come on here. Put it on. Put it on for live, bitch. Put it on for live, ho. Put it on for live, bitch. You tell live every motherfucking thing that you did to get here. Huh? Did you tell live, huh? Every time you turn around, you stealing my money.
What?
Huh? You stealing my money? You stealing my shit.
Hey, she's so
take out my shit.
She's so funny. Everything get blamed on me.
You take my shit. I took some money. Take my shit, bitch. I
take.
You just gave me my chain yesterday. Fuck, nigga.
That's your
Get out.
That's your chain.
Get out.
You just said your money. Now you talking about your chain.
All that.
I ain't never take your chain. I ain't never take your chain.
You ain't never taken that. So I'm lying. I'm lying on you. I'm lying on you. Oh, you want to get live for sure? Get live for sure. Let's get live. See it. Let him see it. Huh? Tell live how you stole my money. Huh? Every time I turn around, my money gone live. Huh? Every time when I wash your clothes, my car's in his car and his on my grandbabies. Huh? What the fuck I gotta lie on you?
On my dead, I'm free to grade you line. I'm free to grade you line. I ain't never touched your
car.
car. On my soul. On my life. I walk in this nigga room here.
Remember, y'all, this ain't boyfriend and girlfriend. This is mother and son. Which appears to be, it look like they arguing like they boyfriend and girlfriend. Cause from what I see from society, this is how the women argue with the men. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, like, I think everybody should go watch that Shahrazad Ali video. While y'all at it, go tune into Kevin saying you some of the ladies. I think y'all need it because this is the result, man. It's not me capping. It's not me trying to tie into something that don't make sense, that don't, correlate. This is the result. I don't really need to show too much of this, like too much. I just need y'all to see this and really think about this consciously. How this affects us as a society. This is not just one household. This happens repetitively across the board a lot of times. Man, shut up, man. To the point where, his own mother. Look, man. He got his own mother jumping up in his face as if, she's creating a threat, like he's the threat, might be the threat. That creates an uncertainty in the situation for both parties. You know what I mean? A lot of times grown men, forget the son. Her boyfriend or whoever guy she dealing with, if that's what he got to put up with just to get a little bit of love and to feel like, he's with a female, that's not something no man want to deal with. 9 out of 10 times a dude is going to leave that situation. As soon as a female too unruly, an unruly female is the number one cause for a lot of destructive relationships. A lot of times that's why men leave. A lot of times men don't really leave the situations. It'd be the women leaving the circumstances. But when men do leave, it'd be because of women like this. That's just my opinion. Y'all gonna formulate your own opinions. I think that her mouth is way too big. Just generally. I didn't hear her say not one nice thing to the son. Her tonality was way too extravagant, enough that no man will want to listen to that. No kid will